Day 397, and I did make a sale with somebody who I just had a call with. Very simple. And I know him already. We've had contact before. And he had a need for the service that my client is offering, and so on. It's really not that hard. I can do this. It's just, putting myself into the right position that I am in, where I can definitely really thrive. And so the way to do that is to now really commit again to a wife and to partnerships. And so, I am now a married man. I consider myself a married man, and I know that what I'm doing here is working and will be amplified by that commitment. And I also realize how having this masterclass with this very influential person today, and me not submitting a question beforehand, which I always used to do last year, because last year I did have a partner. And I realize how important that is for me to be on a lot of calls, with a lot of communications, with a lot of conversions, and automating and optimizing the process of following up on these meetings really is for me and for my processes. And so for that, we are now going to finish out this video by recapping the day, and then going directly into just cleaning up a few things here, just throwing out a few things that I've been hanging on to that do not serve me very much at all. And just letting go of all of that. And working in a way how a married man would work, right? It's all easy and it's all good. So with that, we are going to make more money with that. And so let's recap the day. We got up today in a very, very bad, in kind of a bad place, bad mood. Having procrastinated on the client work last night, because it's just been this cycle that around Wednesday, Thursday, my concentration just drops a little bit. And that looks like a professional salesman. I think people trust me more with the sunglasses. I should put that on a sales call. I should make this like a joke. Look, if trust is the issue, that's what I'm going to say. Look, Jason, if trust is the issue, I think I'm going to put on some sunglasses so you trust me more. I've read in a marketing book called Scientific Advertising that is very sufficiently effective in order to close deals. But we're not deals, and I'm not closing you. You're not a door. I'm just offering a service that might be beneficial to you. And obviously, if you really say, no, I don't have a need for that, then we can leave that. But it seems to me like you do have the need. It is just too much money. And so for that, let us take a look at what is, actually, closing people on like $97, $197 kind of packages, making deals, making introductions for people. All of that is going to be good and very beneficial. And I have another 3 weeks in order to make the money and go see the woman and impress her in the way that I usually would like to do. It's not about impressing. She will love me anyway. She already does, which is great. And so part of that I'm realizing, man, what am I actually kind of waiting for? Like, obviously know that Sue is also looking very, very nice, I gotta say. So he probably really appreciated that. Yeah, I got it. I really got it. I have all of the clothing. Everything is on point and dialed in. And now I'm just going to dial in my relationship as well, right? The relationship with this one woman. Because basically the benefits of that is before, like, she has been very interested in me for like 2 or 3 years. And, if we prolong or if we extrapolate is the right word, if we extrapolate that the person is always going to be in the way that we met them, meaning she is getting to know me as somebody who works very hard, who works all of the days, and who's getting sometimes in very bad places when I just don't have enough social connection, and that I just sometimes crash myself because I work too hard and I'm a very intense guy, and then I get into very bad emotional places where sometimes I just need to lean on her to kind of get out of it. Can I make peace with that? Can I make peace with that? That is likely what is going to happen in the future more and more. And if she is a person who listens to Shakira music, which obviously I do not like, and who drinks a bit of alcohol with some friends, and and she talks a little bit too much sometimes for me to take, and but has a very giving energy. Like how I'm finding her, would I be okay with her just doing more of that, right? And part of me then also thinks like if I just wear like a little bit better and I had already the money and I were doing my seminars, I would find a woman who is like even more open and carefree and like loving, and although she is all of that already. And so part of me is also decoding whether I'm just chasing some kind of perfection fantasy, looking at myself because I'm also not perfect, right? I mean, obviously I'm not, but like I look at my life and I'm like, okay, would she love me despite of all of the things that are not quite so dialed yet in my life? But many of the things actually are very much dialed in my life, you know? And so I make it as a responsibility now to actually build myself a circle of friends, which keeps me in balance. And also, yeah, use the time with her for inspiration, rest, relaxation, and motivation to get forward with all of that. And having her, yeah, give me some stability that I like, kind of some emotional anchor point where I can really go full on to my work, then come back home and relax and recharge. And I do think that I can definitely do that, and that she would be very much interested in that because she's been playing absolutely no games. She's been telling me that she really would love to commit, how much she appreciates that we have a lot of values in common, that we have a similar future vision. And how she's just not playing any kind of games with me. That's what I really appreciate. It's not like we sit there and then she's talking about some other guy and like kind of trying to kind of provoke and poke on my insecurities, which a lot of women do, and rightfully so, because they really got to see is like how are you holding up when things come your way. It's like it's not. I understand why they would, and I potentially would do that too as a woman, right? But I also really appreciate that she doesn't do that. That she's just very giving, very loving, and not because she is so needy and unattractive. Quite the opposite. She's a very attractive woman, and I'm sure she's getting a lot of other opportunities her way, and men letting her know that they're interested in her. I'm sure that this is plentifully happening because she really very much is a very, very beautiful woman. And so yeah. I really appreciate that. And so I'm also thinking with every person always come certain downsides, right? Nobody's perfect. And so she has a little health condition that she told me about. But on the other hand, I'm looking at the stories that Tony Robbins tells, where his wife also had like a certain health condition, and I wonder whether that is kind of the thing in life that when you find a person with a very exceptional character, they gotta have some kind of imbalances on somebody else, on some other front, right? In the same way as if you find somebody who's like physically very gifted, very capable, strong, tall, very well built genetically, usually they deal with either some character challenges or not knowing how to commit to something, how to stay committed, how to be actually positive and healthy, how to be giving, how to eat healthily. You see a lot of people who are like tall, where I'm like, if I was this person, then I would take so much better care of my body, right? But that's exactly right. They were in my position. There's like, man, if I was this guy, I would just talk to more people. I would just absolutely have already been on stage and just sell my seminars and do all of that. And so for that, I really think that it is the right decision to now commit myself. And the sales conversation that I just had was absolutely great. I truly loved that. And I'm just very, 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 very happy and excited for all of that. And so part of me thinks like that includes a free 5-week challenge, meaning I'm going to give you the money back if it's not good after 5 weeks, and then we continue month over month. So I wonder if before I just go to Cusco in the next 3 weeks, I just book a whole lot of calls with other people and just sell them all into my coaching and just be okay, even if I just then don't deliver that great, because I actually only need like a few more people for me to be actually at like a stable kind of $1,000 per month revenue, and then I'm already pretty okay, right? In what I can spend and what I can do and all of these things. It's pretty decent then already. Because if I have like 3,000 sodas per month, I'm like, that's super plenty, super sufficient. It's all good. I can already travel and do a lot of things that we want to be doing in this lifetime, right? Very good. And so yeah, with that, becoming a salesperson and learning how to sell, learning how to speak better and better every day. Yeah, and she really appreciates that. This is very cool that I found before just women who weren't just able to see behind my conditioning, because they saw us like, yeah, man, he's very stressed, he's very weird, he's very needy, he's very apparently like very not in a good place emotionally. But there have been few women, actually no woman at all, who ever kind of really had the courage to see behind that and say, I'm gonna love him anyway because I know he's gonna figure that out. And she actually has been the only woman who truly was able to see past that. Because as I said, she has a lot of other options, and I actually do too. It's just that it requires like a lot of time and effort to utilize all of these options. And so no, that was a bad thing to say. Not that I don't want this at all anymore. Yeah, I just really want to commit. It's like at some point, also for my life, for me to just say yes to that relationship, say yes to that commitment, and say like, okay, it's like I've not grown. I mean, I've grown a lot in the last years, but if I commit right now to that relationship with that woman, how much more will I grow? And that really gets me super excited, because right now is the time to nail it down, is the time to commit, is the time to go deep on everything that we're doing, and to carve out a future that is going to be very, very nice. And on the other hand, yeah, I really like her. And I'm shifting from needing to be totally in love with her, like from an emotional standpoint. A lot of that also just makes sense. It's also logically very sound, because as I said, if she's been wanting me for like 2 or 3 years, like that's what I meant before. It's like you extrapolate how the person is going to be in the future by how you find them. And like, can I make peace with that? Where I'm like, okay, I'm trying to kind of work with that a little bit and to help her change a few things in the same way as she's going to help me change a few things. But not with the expectations that we're going to change some things. This is a non-negotiable, that must change. So if it was a must change for me, for her to say, it's like, okay, you absolutely just have to change this. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And I hope that I can pray that I can help her do that. That would be a bad thing to be. But all of the things that she's currently got, where I'm like, can I make peace with that also for the long term if none of that would ever change? I'm like, yeah, actually, yeah. It's like, yeah, some Shakira, I think that's horrible music and poisoning her mind with all kinds of bad ideas. But on the other hand, I've also been up until very recently still smoking a bit of marijuana, and so yeah, she is certainly willing to let go of a lot of things, and we have a lot of values in common, a lot of shared future visions of how we want our life to be individually. And so then I realized that she's actually not going to leave the country, but actually staying, because she is a pretty talented ballet dancer, and was getting a scholarship to Europe, which didn't happen for some kind of circumstance, and now she's still here. And so I'm like, all right, well, I mean, then let's see if we can figure this out. And so that is certainly a very interesting situation, and a very good situation, and yeah, it is an opportunity that arises, because maybe you look back at some point, it's like, how much more would I have grown had I just committed myself earlier to like one person, really build a life with, and build a really great life and great relationship with. And so in the same way as Hormozy says how he picked his wife, it was like, obviously it was physical attraction, but that certainly we got. I mean, she is, very, very beautiful physically, and very, like, she's a ballet dancer, as I said. She's very much everything that I'm looking for physically, but also on the character side. She really has got all of that. And so I'm like, okay, I can probably find a woman, like physically it's like 10 out of 10 for me. It's like this is just like very sexy. And so I can obviously look for a woman who has like the perfect model kind of face on top of that, 10 out of 10. But yeah, then I would probably need to deal with all the downsides that come with that, right? And so then I'm saying it's like, well, if she is physically already what I've got, like what I'm looking for, and she has the character qualities of being very giving, being involved in church, being involved in giving and charity and helping people. And I'm like, okay. She listens to a little bit of weird music, which may or may not change. That's actually a thing that is likely going to change. She likes dessert, although she's in very good shape. And I'm like, I'd rather eat clean all the time. I do that. But on the other hand, like, can I accept that? Seeing her eat like a chocolate cake, I'm like, yeah, I definitely can. It's like I can make peace with that. I can make peace with that. And her having a little bit of a health condition, yeah, I mean, that's that is something that I'm currently worried about. It's like how, yeah. But on the other hand, you're never going to find the perfect person who has all of that. One of the biggest benefits of that is like really she doesn't play any games. She really wants me. She wants the future, and so she's already so invested in that and wants that so much. And not play any games and not kind of unsure or guessing. I don't know. She's like, no, I want this. I'm ready. It's like, if you want this too, let's get some rings. And I'm like, man, all right, this is like interesting. And it's not because she comes from like a needy place of like, but like she has other options. I know that. But it's like she really wants to connect over the values and the shared future vision. Right. And so yeah, as I'm talking through that with all of these points, I also realized that I came a little bit late back to one of the clients who happens to be a pastor. Interestingly enough, and also that definitely helps me stay on track. And so yeah, the question is, how hard would I work for her if it wasn't for me, but it was for her? And so if I were to get like, a few more clients in the doors, would I be able and willing to have a weekend where I'm just there with her, where I just go up there Friday afternoon, come there Friday night, spend the Friday night, spend the whole Saturday, spend the Sunday, go back Sunday night, and get up on Monday morning, 6 a.m., come back here and do my work? I mean, can I see that? Can I see that I can already, have all of my calls ending on Thursday? I really can. I really can live my life like this and then have not any calls on Friday because I'm just pulling all of that forward and building myself a weekly routine where even I can come there and spend time with her. And would I be willing to do that? On the other hand, I'm like, I love my routine here, but on the other hand, I'm ready to commit. I'm ready to do all of that. I'm ready to do what it takes, and even if I have to drive like fucking 5 hours to Cruisebay every time, and I'm like sitting there in the car, but on the other hand, I also reflect a lot based on that. And I can go through my notes, and I can organize things, and I can review some writings that I've made, and I can already prepare some content ideas. A lot of good ideas come, and it's also relaxing, it's recharging, even though it's also mentally exhausting in some way. But it also does help me. It wouldn't be bad, and I would be able to take that for sure. I would be able to do that and make peace with that. Sit myself in a car for like 10 hours every weekend. Man, that's a lot. Fuck. But like, yeah, what you gotta do? That's what I'm certainly willing to do, to go through in the first month until I make enough money so that I can actually stay there for a little bit longer, and especially when I do make more money while I'm there and crack some bigger deals, I can really drive up there and spend a little bit more time and do that. And so that sounds like a very, very good future scenario. Now that I'm actually ready, and now that I've got all of the people dialed in, things cleaned up, and I'll just be able to like co-work a little bit, right? The question is just, would that be weird if I like stay at her place there? Or if I'm like renting a place of my own, just to stay there and work, and utilize the rent to do all of that. Obviously that's going to change again later on, but for now, that's really what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just take 1 or 2 suits with me, just a few shirts that match, and just fucking work there, talk to people, and just be relaxed and concentrated. Be relaxed and concentrated. Just be relaxed and concentrated. Super easy. Yeah, and so with that, let us now clean up the room here and actually live the way like I would live if I already were a married man. It's all good.